What's going on, friends? Things at Harley-Davidson are worse than we ever could have imagined. Sales are pretty much non-existent. Quality is definitely down, in my opinion, when it comes to the newer motorcycles. And just general discontent and infighting within the company. Harley-Davidson is not headed in a good direction. And honestly, the way things are looking, they may be looking for a buyout. And we just might possibly see a repeat of the AMF years if they're not careful. Harley-Davidson hasn't openly admitted it, but a lot of the figures that they have released are seriously pointing to a company that is in some serious financial trouble. Now, with infighting in the company, slow to no sales, warehouses are backed up, lines are being shut down at the factory, dealers can't move the inventory, Harley-Davidson's got warehouses full of brand new motorcycles. When this whole supply chain backs up, production stops. Everything comes to a halt when that happens. Harley-Davidson's competition, they're still moving motorcycles while Harley-Davidson sits idle and cannot move anything. If this kind of sounds a little bit familiar, if you remember the AMF years or if you read up on any of that, this is pretty much exactly what happened leading up to the buyout that Harley-Davidson had to take from AMF. So if Harley-Davidson has to go and get a buyout and get somebody to come in and rescue them, let's just hope this time it's not a bowling ball company. Guys, please don't forget, if you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to hit that like button and consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't done so already. Harley-Davidson is experiencing a little bit more than a difficult time right now. They got a CEO that refuses to leave, the backers are not happy, the company is pretty much absolutely in the dumpster right now. It's like a freight train barreling down the tracks, and Harley-Davidson just can't seem to stop it. Harley-Davidson's second largest investor, H Partners, which we won't talk about the first one, as many of you may know or may speculate. That's a pretty shady group, but they are pretty PO'd that the CEO will not step down. They're calling for some of the top-level board members to leave, and it's just looking like complete and total chaos in the boardroom over there, and the whole business as a whole is pretty much reflecting it. Sales on new motorcycles are down 53%. Now, while that may not mean much to you in the used market and stuff, we've got to keep this company going and keep things rolling so that we can have future generations to have used Harley-Davidsons to do what we're already doing with them. If that stops, the whole culture and everything that we love, it's gone. To make things even worse, the upper management in the company is completely checked out. They say they cannot make any future business predictions just because of uncertain economic times, tariffs, you name it. Sounds like a bunch of excuses. They're sitting in the chairs, the lights on, but nobody's home. Which is funny, while they're saying this, BMW, Triumph, Indian, anybody that makes a motorcycle that would directly compete with Harley-Davidson, they're seeing rising sales. They're moving inventory. They're doing great compared to Harley-Davidson, which is really sad, and it just shows you the level of not giving a shit that the upper management within the company has. Every decision that the current CEO and the board has made has been absolutely detrimental to Harley-Davidson as a whole. Now, if you're like me and like a lot of others out there, you don't really buy new Harley-Davidsons and you're always looking for a good deal on the used market, so you probably feel like this can't reach out and touch you. So if you're used to buying Harley-Davidsons out on Marketplace, or I don't know who reads the paper these days, but out of the paper, Craigslist, whatever your choice of online app is, remember that Harley-Davidson used market online sales? People that are trying to sell their motorcycles now can reach an even broader audience through Harley-Davidson themselves. And Harley-Davidson tried to cash in on it, and this is where it hurts us, because when these bikes go through Harley-Davidson, you can get financed, this and that, through their online used program. That kind of takes the deals right out from under us, so it's basically kind of like going to a dealer, essentially. You're paying higher prices for used motorcycles that you normally would have bought from an individual. This has taken a lot of motorcycles that would have been hiding in garages, off of dealer lots, off of your local shop lots. This has affected them as well, not just you as trying to find a bike for sale in somebody's front yard. Why put it in your front yard when you could go through Harley-Davidson themselves and actually be able to get financed, have them kind of help broker the deal? However, that whole thing is going to pan out. But the thing is, the bikes are selling for more, and it's getting harder to find somebody's long-lost motorcycle that they discovered in the back of the garage and get it for pennies on the dollar. Revenue for the company as a whole is down 60%. That is insane when you think about a company as large as Harley-Davidson being down 60%. This isn't just a company struggling with the economy. This is a company that is in some serious financial trouble. When you have a top-level board member resign citing lack of transparency, cultural depletion, and just overall poor management, that is a serious sign that they're looking for a buyout eventually. The part that's really concerning in my mind is where he mentioned the cultural depletion. That right there is what Harley-Davidson was built on, was the whole motorcycle culture and Harley-Davidson motorcycles, that everything, that is the foundation of it, and it literally sounds like we are losing that as a whole. I think it's very appropriate to say that the CEO's hardwire strategy of build less, sell them for more, give the customer less, cut back on quality here and there where we can, and just get you through the warranty period, I think that was a really bad idea. And at the same time, they essentially decreased their market share and alienated their customer base, which honestly, I don't think that was too bright, but I'm not an expert. The sad part is that Harley-Davidson knew motorcycle sales as a whole were in a slump. They weren't selling, so they made a conscious decision to go forward with selling motorcycles at a higher price and actually giving the customer less on their motorcycles for your money. Not to mention moving a lot of the production overseas and then having to pay tariffs to bring the motorcycles back to the United States, where that's supposed to be their country of origin. That's not really good for business. Now, I'm sure to bubble in an echo chamber of a boardroom with all your buddies around there, that sounded like a great idea, but it really didn't pan out in reality. Worst case scenario for Harley-Davidson right now is, depending on their financial situation, which doesn't sound good, they're probably looking for a buyout, looking for a little help. This is the same thing that happened leading up to the AMF years. History is literally repeating itself right now. But the big question is what company out there would have the money and the willingness to try to revive an iconic failing motorcycle company just like Harley-Davidson? Now, we all remember how that went with AMF. To save Harley-Davidson, my opinion, honestly, would be they need to lower prices on the motorcycles. Keep the quality maybe where it's at, could always have been a little better, but sell the bikes cheaper. They need to move these things in volume, create and generate some cash flow, and get every ass in America on a Harley-Davidson motorcycle. Now, that is a tough pill to swallow because Harley-Davidson's got an ego a mile wide about how their bikes are premium and they're better than everybody else, and they just don't want to sell to just anybody. But that may be what they have to do, is drop the prices and make the bikes more affordable. But guys, I want to know what you think. Do you think Harley-Davidson is headed for a repeat of the AMF years with some sabotage in the company, lower quality on the motorcycles, bikes going out to dealers that never should have even made it out to the factory? Do you think we're getting ready to see this at Harley-Davidson? They're going to start slashing costs and making all the wrong moves? Well, they're already making the wrong moves, but just when you think it can't get any worse, do you think we're going to see a repeat of those AMF years? Or do you think maybe a blowout sale is necessary, slash the prices on the motorcycles, get them out the door, find a way to regroup, and maybe lower the price on the bikes? Maybe not cut quality everywhere, but just sell the bikes for less and take in a little less profit, because honestly, trying to sell less and charge more really didn't work. So why don't we keep the quality, sell them for less, and sell more of them and generate some cash flow? What do you guys think of that idea? But anyhow, guys, let me know what you would do at Harley-Davidson to turn things around. I'm really interested to hear your opinions on this. But anyhow, guys, that's all I've got for you this week. If you guys enjoyed the video, please don't forget to hit that like button and consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't done so already. But until next week, guys, you stay safe on the streets, ride smart, dodge those cars. I'll catch you guys back here next week with a brand new video. Thanks for watching.